I experience anxiety maybe at least 10, 15, 20 times a day. Anxiety to me as a kid, I realized that I almost found a safe place in worrying. Like, oh, I have this to worry about, and then everything would be fine. I'm like, okay, oh, what's next? Oh, I gotta worry about this now. Oh my God. Like, it always seemed to me that I would go from one, like, anxious moment to another. I think mental health is an important topic for not only me, but for so many immigrant families who this conversation is so never spoken about. It's almost like, especially for my community, it's like, no, like we're fine. We can get through it. We're tough. We blanket trauma with the word strength. No, I'm stronger because of it. And it's like, no, you could have had so many outlets in order to really communicate all of the trauma that you've been through. And you would still be a strong person, but you would also know what it's like to break down. If we spoke more about mental health and ways to seek out mental health and take away that stigma, I feel like we could have a generation of people that are just living happier, longer lives. I have an inner critic. Definitely have several of them. I think that especially being an artist, you're just never happy with your work. It's important for me to remind myself that I did the best that I could do in that moment, and not to just over criticize yourself about things you can't control. I look at pictures of myself growing up and I hated the way that I looked. I was so self-conscious. I was chubby, had a unibrow, my gap, like there was nothing, psoriasis, like there was nothing about myself that I liked for so long. And then there was something about, I don't know, in like 8th or 9th grade, I was just like, you know what, F that. Like, I am not living my life for other people. And I have an incredible mother who's always instilled in me this like confidence. There might be people out there that are better looking than you, smarter than you, more talented than you, but you have to find what it is about yourself that makes you you that nobody else has, and run with that. Because everything I've hated about myself, has made me the most successful. I needed an outlet that allowed me to express my emotions without running to my family, because my family was the kind of family where, yes, of course, like you're upset, cry, but you have about 5 seconds because now you got to get up and keep moving because we got things going on. And for me, I found that in writing. I found that in groups that were also writing, in groups in school. And sometimes when you can use an outlet artistically, expression in writing or dance or music, you're finding a way to cope that's in a healthy way. Little sayings that really help me cope. One of the biggest one is let go and let God. I always try and say that to myself, especially when I'm in a moment that I am like not in control at all. And taking deep breaths and saying, let go, let God, what will happen will happen. It's so like empowering to me when I have like my most anxious moments or I'm spiraling the most, and then you get out of it and you realize that like, okay, this isn't gonna be anywhere near as bad as I think it's gonna be. Over the past few months, this pandemic has put me on like an emotional roller coaster. My mom is super high risk, so specifically the beginning of lockdown, my anxiety level was through the roof because, like we were slowly learning about, how this was spread. And with my mom, only 30% of her heart works. So I was like, you are staying with me. Like we live together. I watch her like a hawk. And so for the first few months, it was a little scary because I was just nervous, watching her all the time. And to cope, I was spending a lot of time with her. And that's really helped me because I'm starting to learn about my mom in a whole new way, a way that I don't think I would have had the opportunity to if it weren't for this pandemic. So that's a definite positive. Nobody in this planet has it all figured out, so take it easy on yourself. If I can find any kind of optimism in 2020, I'm still very hopeful that there are good people in this world and that hopefully this generation can change it for the one next.